minds. However, because of the situation that we're in, we want to give you quickly, because we are, as much as we want to get you into the hands-on, touch it, feel it, like it, we still want to be able for you to be good ambassadors for us going forward, for ACS. And a good ambassador is one that understands and knows what they are talking about. One thing I've learned when I came into working with ACS and generally in life is that the thing that people fear most is what?
The unknown.
The unknown. People fear that which they don't know. I listened to a young lady one time on a radio show, and they were talking about some information, and she spoke with authority on a topic that she had no idea about. Do you understand the impact that it had on everybody who listened to it? Then she said, I did that. I know I didn't know what I was talking about, but my brother, who is a lawyer, told me that if I have anything to say, say it with conviction, and you would convert even those who don't, or those who know what they're talking about. Very important. And I've seen that when I came into this, there were people who were talking about this who didn't know about it. But they were so good at convincing that they convinced everybody else that this is bad and it's wrong. So it took years to undo that, to understand if you don't know, don't talk about what you don't know. Especially when it comes to situations like this. Okay, so quickly I'm going to run through this. I know some of you are saying you don't have your phone, you don't have this. You really don't need it. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of why we do what we do. Okay? Let me see, does this thing work? Derek,
where is
Okay, I think it works. Okay. All right. A disaster strike, and most of you have been around long enough to understand that we're having more and more frequent disasters these days than before. And just last week, Thursday or Wednesday sometime last week, there was a torrential downpour of rain in New York City, and there were trucks and ponds of water, places that you have never seen that before. Just a week before that, the Hutchinson Parkway, or one of those places, was inundated with water, and several cars were flooded. And it's going to keep on getting worse. Now, I believe that if we believe in what God says in His Word, that we as a people of the Word should be what? Prepared. So we should be prepared. It bothers me when there's a disaster that is forecast and Adventists is running to the supermarket to stand on the line with those who don't know to get the same food. You should have that food at home. Amen. Point blank. You rotate your food, no matter how poor you are. Just keep an extra bag of rice. That's all it takes. But if you don't plan, you don't have a plan, then you'll be like everybody else. Now, cleaning flooded buildings, after Hurricane Sandy. Most of you who from the Northeast knew about Sandy. Yeah. That was the last major storm that we have had. The one that have literally drenched us, and we have rewrote the playbook after Sandy, because everything that in the playbook that could have gone wrong went wrong. We had to win Sandy as if we never had anything, because we were not prepared for anything of the magnitude. So what happens after a disaster? Well, after a disaster, pretty much an assessment goes on. Some people go out and look at what needs to be done. They report back, hey, a lot of mud, a lot of debris, houses here, houses there. We're not the only organization who does it. We work in a network of organizations. Sometimes we report all back to the same volunteer center, who put that in together, and they would deploy. Sometimes we would be the one who just go out, do an assessment, and somebody call back and say, hey, we have a lot of flooded places over here, we need help. What kind of help do you need? And then that is where this comes in. You could tell us exactly what you have. You have basements flooded. With what? Just rainwater or just water? Do you have sewage? No or yes, we do. And all of that information helps us as responders as to what we're going to do. All right? We say the flood carries a variety of contaminants such as bacteria, heavy metal, and pesticides. That is important to know. So when we're going to go into a place, we try to go as protective as possible, but the more information you know about a flooded situation, then it's important. There are a couple of things that we need to have when we're going to, especially deal with this. Is you need to what? An I-95. An I-95?
Yeah.
I-95 mask. Very important. You really do not need this.
Oh, thank you.
I make sure I keep it with me so that you can see, because some people think if you really have respiratory problems, then you're not supposed to go in the period. Okay? We use this, there's some of us who use these, and we use this in situations where there's high contamination. If we're making dust with asbestos or most times with lead and that kind of stuff, then we go to a higher respirator. But in everyday situation, the I-95, the N95 works very well. One of the things that most people forget to do, on top of your nostril, there is a metal thing that needs to be nicely bent so it fits snug over your face. And then the next thing that we need to have, especially when we're doing basement buckle, is one of these. Okay, a Tyvek gown. You don't have to, so don't say, well, I don't have it, I can't go. But it's good when you have it. Now, one of the things, especially when you go into contaminated area, the Tyvek gown would protect you from all the contaminations pretty much. They're very expensive if you want to put it that way. So you just don't find them lying around. And so normally they come, this one having a booty, a lot of them don't have on, but it comes a booty, and so you would suit up in your white suit. It's very, very hot.
It's a disposable jumpsuit.
It is disposable? Yes, it is.
Okay.
Normally when we put them on, and we cloak up ourselves in it, put on our gloves and everything, and make sure we, lunchtime, when we stop for break, this is the part I want to get. We don't go to places that are clean to sit down in your Tyvek suit.
Like the healthcare.
So once you come out, if you're going to go to have lunch, then you would disrobe. And you would do it in such a way that you always keep it this way so that you don't contaminate the inside of it. So after your lunch, you come back, you could put back on the suit and you could go back to work. You don't come out and go into your car with your Tyvek suit. You don't come out and sit on the bench where other people are going to come and sit in their regular clothes unless you're going to desanitize it. It's very, very important. Because remember, anything that is on the outside of this, everywhere you sit, everywhere you touch, you're going to contaminate. So it's very, very important that you maintain that. So this area over here, when you're taking your break, you sit on this bench over here. People who are not doing this would sit over here. No time should they cross each other. At the end of the day, you unrobe, you would hang the suit, and so that if you need to use it the next day, you can. If it's not fully torn or destroyed, you can use it several times over. Okay? It's okay, you just have to be handled properly. All right?
Where do you get those things? Do special order them, or you find them at a?
Home Depot.
Home Depot do sell them,
Amazon.
but you could order these from there's some stores that do sell.
Is there a special kind, a special like the?
Tyvek, no, well, some are just better than some.
You couldn't order them from Amazon.
Yeah, plain departments do sell them.
Okay.
But they, as I say, when a disaster strikes, they're not the easiest sometimes to find, and they're very, very costly. And so when you're buying them in bulks and stuff like that, and that's why I say, we use them, but we make sure that at the end of the day, when we de-rope properly so that we can use it the next day. Yes?
In the field, what kind of hazardous contaminant do you guys face?
Nothing, no, well, pretty much, most of the time when we get there, most of the water would have gone. Sometimes if there was water, then we pump it out, but we don't get much that. I have not gotten much of that. Most time it was like maybe sewer water that might come back up in some of these basements, or just rainwater. But chemicals, I don't remember any heavy chemical that we have tested for. Does that answer?
One thing to remember, when we get called in, we're disaster responders. We're not emergency service personnel.
Yeah.
There is a difference.
Yeah.
And so by the time we come in, generally speaking, the place has been made as safe as possible. And so that's why Walter's telling you, he's been on a lot of events, but he hasn't really been in a lot of these contaminants that they're talking about. For the most part, the sewer water and things like that is probably the worst we're going to do by the time we're called in.
Most of the time when you deal with some of this stuff, it would be if you live in the neighborhood or if it's in your own house. By the time somebody call us and tell us, hey, we have a flood in this area, would you going to respond? And we talk about how we're going to respond, the logistics and all the things. By the time we get there, the water already gone. it's going to eventually soak up. It's just that it comes in faster than it could go out. But eventually it's going to be gone by the time we get there 2 or 3 days later. And so we never really have to deal with that. Once or twice when I deal with it was when a place I'm dealing with got flooded out and I'm on site. Okay? All right. Quickly, let's move forward. Safety issues. Do not at any time go into an electrical charge place that is underwater. Don't. I did it one time, I'm going to confess to that, and God protected me.
Amen.
Okay? God protected me, something
tricky.
I think that needed and had to do with very little choice, and I stepped into the water knowing that it was electrically charged. And I went in and came out, and God protected me.
Amen.
Thank you,
Okay?
Lord.
Do not at any time go into any building or any place that there is electrical outlets and the water is above them and the power is on. Do not do that. Okay? It's better to go into one that is sewer contaminated than go into one that is electrical charged. But stay out of them. Some of the things that you'll get is mold growth and so forth needs to be addressed. A lot of things that I find is that as soon as somebody goes into a building and it smells bad, they say, there's mold inside of there. How do you know that? It smells bad. That's not how it goes. Mold is something that you got to check for. Most of the time, if a building is flooded and it's not dried out immediately, then mold tend to grow in damp areas. And so you'll start seeing black mold, which is that which you have to literally be very careful about, especially if you have respiratory problem. Black mold is what affects and triggers your respiratory system. So you do not want to deal with that situation. But again, you put on an N95 mask and you can go in and it can be treated by people who know how to treat it. Yes?
So I know coming from the medical side of things, we wear N95 and we have to do a fit test to make sure the right size works. So if we came with our fit test numbers, you guys, and we were on the plane, would you supply those or? not.
Well, you'll have to still buy that from someplace else
Yeah.
because fit tested is ordered based on your whole face thing.
Yeah.
So only you one could wear that properly. And yes, when we do stuff like this, they also come fit. We could be fit tested as well. Yeah. All right. So mold is something again. You do not have to be afraid of it, as some people think, but it's not something that you go in and you run into. It must be clean, wiped down, dry out. So that's one of the things that you see for the building for several health, risk individual occupancy. So if you're in a flooded area, you want to make sure it dries out. How do you do that? Once the water recedes, you get a fan and you put a fan in it, or several fans in it. Nothing dries a building as fast as a fan. Air circulation does that. If you were to bring in a company to do it, they're going to put in an air purifier in it, they're going to put 2 fans in it, and they're going to charge you $1,000. You could just put 2 fans in it yourself, blow the air out, it's going to dry. If it's your house, cut the wall open so that it gets air, and pretty much, but personal safety, one of the things again, when we go most of the time, we don't have to deal with that. We're just cutting sheetrocks out, and our most important thing for us is to get the house safe so that the residents could move back in. We are not there to perform home remodeling job. That's not our job. Okay? Right now, you're staying where? At a shelter, or with your aunt or your cousin at somebody's house. Our job is to get you back into your own house. So we're going to go in, cut out the sheetrock, we're going to wipe out the mold that's there, we're going to put a fan in it. If it's not dry it out as fast as we can, and then we're going to put some sheet, put back in some insulation, put some sheetrock, we might put some tape over it, you get back into your house. You get somebody else to finish it. We are here to do what? Make it safe and habitable for the folks to move back in. We are not here to remodel the house. Okay? Electrical protection and shocks. Again, you don't deal much with that. Most of the time we have an electrician with us. Pretty much I could deal with whatever it is. So you don't deal much with electrical wiring and stuff like that. But again, always treat every wire as what? As live or hot. If you do that all the time, you'll never have a problem. And I've learned that, and every wire that I've ever had to deal with, as far as I'm concerned, it is hot. So even when it's not hot, it is still hot. So I've never had to worry about it. Don't just assume, well, the switch is off. There could be a back feed on the line that you don't know about. And you don't want to be a statistic. So treat every line as hot. Again, that's what black mold looks like. Protection from it, your gloves, your mask. You go in. People normally use bleach. Put in the bleach and water. You can wipe it off. And once the place is not humid and it's dry, mold would eventually dissipate. But if it's humid, if it's wet, moist, then it's always going to go back. Mold contamination, the mask, asbestos. Sometimes you go into some basement and there's asbestos in it. If you're not familiar with the trade, you will not know. Asbestos does not bother you until you bother it. So if you don't disturb it, it is okay. But once you disturb it, then it becomes airborne, and then that's when you breathe it in. So again, you be aware of that. Don't be touching or pulling things that you are not familiar with at all. Never really had to deal with it, and I don't let my volunteers deal with situations like those.
Wait a minute. Could you go back to that? Is that white covering, is that asbestos?
It's asbestos contaminated. It is in other words, it's a piece of cardboard.
Oh, it's cardboard.
It's cardboard, but it is made with asbestos in it.
That's the white thing.
That covers that. Yeah. Yeah, the same thing, it's the same thing. If it's this thing, well, it's really this thing.
It could be in flooring as well.
Could be this thing that open. If you have some floor tiles, some really, really old floor tiles, they do have asbestos, but unless you go break in the tile, it will not really affect you. Okay? Again, unless you don't break it and disturb it, then it does not get your bone. Lead is another thing that we worry about, but as adults, lead does not affect us that you really have to worry about in renovating. Just wear a mask and you're pretty much good to go. What I do say, whether it's lead or other things, when you respond to a disaster, that's why as much as possible, if you're going to do mop out and clean out, that you wear the Tyvek suit. If you're going to go home, do not wash your clothes that you're worn to do the disaster, mop out and clean out with everybody else in the family at that time. Especially if you have kids under 6 years old. That's a no at all. Okay, do not do that. You wash those, take them to the public laundry, and you wash them totally separate. You do not want, because once you wash, you wear an outfit and you do that work and it got contaminated, you take it home, you just contaminate everybody in your home with that. So you don't want to do that. Yes. Yes.
I want to go back to treat every line as ops. When do you then can declare that it's safe in the environment?
When we treat them, well, we normally would go in and check to make sure that there's no power is not charged.
I'm saying, imagine a disaster in the area. Lights are down, poles are down, everything is down. Do you wait for the power company to say?
Yes.
Because my intent is light is gone, power is on, poles are down, everything is black. That's my intention. Knowing my luck is so that's what I'm asking.
You want to avoid everything. Anything. Yeah.
You got a telephone line also that I can ignore.
And you don't even ignore that, because sometimes a telephone line could be resting on a charge line and it's on the ground. You think that it's just a telephone line, you pick it up and it's
So ACS 13 is waiting for power company to say it's safe.
most of the time, by the time we come into those things, all of that is already gone. Already done. By the time I get my team to go into that, it's a week later or 2 weeks later. We are not a first responder, so you're not going to be there first to get it.
The first responders usually take care of that.
Yes.
So one of the issues is that you pointed out earlier was the backfeed of electricity, and places that have backup generators, if they aren't properly installed, they don't have a backstop to them. So the power that is being generated can go into the house and then backfeed into the electrical grid. And that's the real danger. So the town may look like it's all out of power, but there could be a residual charge still going through the line because there's power being back-fed into the system.
But most of the time, you never have to worry with that. Because when we go into the rebuild, it's normally a month or a couple of weeks after the whole disaster would have passed. Yes, ma'am.
You said that we're not supposed to wash our clothes if they're contaminated, and you've been walking in some, go to a laundromat. But wouldn't that contaminate the...
The system is much better than the one you have at home. It's commercial, it's industrial. So it cleans itself, and the hot water that runs through it, literally all the time, would desanitize it. The one you have at home is not at that high level.
I would, yeah. You took my
Okay?
question.
Did that answer your question? And see, the one you have at home has a lot of plastic and other stuff in it. The one that is commercial and industrial is all stainless steel. And so that just gets flushed out very, very easily. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up quickly. This is pretty much what you would see on the television. And again, guys, for me personally, when there's a disaster, and I know I might have to respond, but I don't really watch television. I don't watch that whole thing. I don't watch it. I don't watch newscasters. I don't watch what they're saying out there. I don't. Because if I watch it, I ain't going out there. Okay? So for me, I just don't even pay attention to what they're saying. When I get a call, and whatever it is, I do my assessment, and then I go. Understand how that plays on your brain. Okay, I have to work with the media. Again, I'm out there first. The media is going to come, and I told you guys that my first thing when I started the disaster was with, it was with Pan American Health Organization. And they came to the island to do an assessment. And you got, the whole television crew. I was the driver, and my job was to take them to the worst hit areas. And so I go to an area, and there is a young man here, and there's a young lady, and I'm saying, talk to this guy. He kind of dressed nice, and he looked eloquent. And so, the cameraman looked at me and like, no, we want to talk to him. And I'm like, they said, no, we want to talk to him. And they talked to the lady who closed, all tear down, baby on her hip, and look. And I'm like, brother. And the whole thing is, they need to get clips that sells. And so they look for the worst conditions to put out there on the media. Now, I have dealt with them. And I know what I tell the lady. And what the lady said and what I tell her is two different things altogether. They just twist the story because they want people to watch. So when they put things on the television and tell you, and I saw that in Sandy. We're working in Sandy. And see how the algorithms were running. When people were putting things out there, and we're there in the ground, people are coming in with U-Haul loads of stuff. And we're saying, where is this going from? People on social media saying, we are dying over here. We ain't got no food. We ain't got no clothes. And people are just coming in. And they're coming to New York City. They have no place to put the stuff. Nobody to take it. It all goes in the dump. And when we did the research and we found out, it was just people who, and the media was working on people's so you got to avoid when you see something. And even today with AI, forget it, guys. I've seen some things in recent, even with Texas, that they were putting out there, and they were AI generated. Okay. Cleaning flood damaged homes. Please, when we go in, it's always clean, dry. If we have to help some people take out, the furniture, they always have different piles. Furniture, this. You put it at different areas. You always follow that. These are some of the stuff that we use for cleaning. I'm going to just jump through this. Clorox is one of them. Always make sure you wipe down, clean down, screen off different areas as you go through. Power wash, very important that you do that. Cold weather, cleaning crawl spaces, and then you talk about the fans to ventilation, heat it. That is very important after anything to ventilate and to dry it out. That's a moisture tester. That tests how much moisture is still in the wall. Protocol of safety guidelines. We talked about that. We're going to show you a little bit more about it. Putting on your safety goggles, your earplugs, your face mask, and most of you for your hands, your gloves. Very important that you do that.
I thought I said no playing of music.
Well, you don't want anything that's going to distract. Loud music and stuff like that. One of the things pretty much when we go and for your leaders, you never self-deploy, so you don't just get up and say, oh, I'm going to go because you never self-deploy. You always wait for the organization who you're working with to contact you before you go to any place to do anything. And when you go, again, one of the things you always, I'm just going to plug in all of this quickly, never remove anything from anybody's premises, regardless of what it is, at all. If they're going to throw it out, let them throw it out. You don't take it and put it in your car and say the lady gave it to you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Those simple things put people in a lot of big trouble. That lady might be depressed and stressed at the time when she tells you to take that picture. And then she, where's my picture? And then it was here before these people come. And they took my picture. And she's not going to call you back. She's going to tell everybody else how you come and steal their picture. And then it just backfired. So my thing is, do not take anything from anybody's place. If you're going to clean it out, put it on the sidewalk. That is where it's supposed to go. When you leave this stuff there. Don't take it with you at all. That's very much thing for the whole thing. The other thing that we do, that mock out and clean out, more detailed than what I just gave you. We do respond to other things. We used to say we don't do roofs, but we do roofs. But we don't do second story and third story roofs. So in places like Florida and some of these other places, they have very low roofs. We have had things, and we do roofs and stuff like that. And Derek just showed you this morning where even when there's not a disaster, we do respond to aid individuals who have homes that need repair. So as a community group, you can come together and say, hey, the sister lives over here, her house is in bad condition, really dilapidated, she needs, and you can come together as a group and go there and do a renovation of that home as part of community give back. And so we're hoping by opening you up to all of this, that you'll become ambassadors for us at ACS. Now when there's a disaster and we need hands, and we need people to come and assist, then you could be that ambassador to put a group together, to put a team together wherever you are in that part of the vineyard, and then you can assist us in responding to the disasters. Make sense?
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna, you don't have to keep pay for a membership for this. It's just free. Once you give your name one time and your callback number, we'll just call you when we need you. Okay? That's it. I mean, come on, man. You're getting a lot. So we want to work together on that. Okay, our next part of this now is that we're going to get a quick break, and then we're more this morning than we were. We're more this afternoon than we were this morning, which is a good situation to have. I literally did enjoy my lunch, because before lunch we were talking about what was it going to look like after lunch, because some people were only going to do one session. It's a full module that goes to 7. And so we need everybody to be a part of it right to the end, so that you could understand the whole concept of what we're going to do. The next part we're going to do after we take a break is that we're going to go outside, and we're going to get into, they told us that there was supposed to be 60 people. And so that will be 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing one.
54 seats.
Huh? There were 54 seats. Yeah. Well, all of them are not full right now. And so if I was going to do 1, 2, 3,